Hey guys, it's your girl Ijeoma Kola, and I have been wanting to do this video for months now, but I was caught up with dissertation writing, so I wasn't able to do it until now. Today's video I'm going to be addressing assumptions about me. I thought that this like Instagram challenge or tag or whatever it was pretty funny because it's always interesting how people perceive you or others on social media based off of the limited information that they have. Social media gives you that familiarity that you like really know somebody. So I thought it would be super cool to find out from my followers what they really thought about me. So I'm gonna pull up the assumptions. First, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any more content. Now that your girl is done with the dissertation, I'm so free. I'm probably gonna try to increase my weekly uploads to twice a week, so you don't wanna miss it. On that note, let us continue with the assumptions about me. So this is not going to be in any kind of order or anything. I am just going to kind of start from the bottom of the questions and work my way up. All right, so one assumption is that I thought we could be BFFs, but you're too big now. We can still be BFFs, and I'm also really not big. Like, I'm really not. I answer almost every single DM. It might take me 2 weeks, but I answer every single DM. I try to respond to every comment. I'm not big. I've never been on social media for the purpose of like blowing up or glowing up or becoming Instagram famous or anything, so I'm not big. So I'm gonna assume you're nerdy. I am a little nerdy, but I think I've been in school for so long that I hate the thought of like reading another book that needs to be tested. So I don't know, I like the pursuit of knowledge, but I don't know if I would classify myself as a nerd, because I think nerds like never lose that joy and that desire to like learn something new, whereas I could literally die tomorrow with all the knowledge I currently have and feel completely satisfied with what I've done with my life. Another assumption is that you are mad fun to hang out with. I like to think that I'm mad fun to hang out with. However, I'm kind of like introverted, extroverted, so I'm fun to hang out with if I know you, and if I don't know you, I'll probably just sit and smile, and it might be a little awkward for some time. I'm also fun until I'm tired. Like the second I'm tired or the second I'm hungry, like it's time to go. My friend Sade, she always like makes fun of me because we'll be hanging out and all is well, and like it's like a flip switches in my head and I'm tired and I gotta go home, and I will literally be like, girl, I gotta go, and I will get up and just like there's no warning, I'm just like gone. So that's that. You're always happy, you always have a happy face, you never have sad days. That's not at all true. I have a ton of sad days. When you're crying, you're not really pretty, so I don't post on those sad days. I do think it's important to talk about both the good things that are happening in your life and the bad things that are happening in your life on social media, and kind of like present a realistic portrayal of your world if you feel emotionally up to that. And I try to do that. I like recently on Mother's Day talked about the struggle for the past year of trying to get pregnant and having a miscarriage, and that was super personal for me. And you know, I didn't post any of the days that I was crying, like, you know, leading up to that, but that doesn't mean that I was still experiencing something sad. But I try, you know, no one wants to like be a Debbie Downer, so I try to be positive, and pictures where I smile get the most engagement, so I usually smile in photos. Let's see. I really thought that your entire life story, every detail, is in the book Americana by Chimamanda Adichie. Listen, let me tell you something about Americana and Auntie Chimamanda. So Chimamanda did when she was writing Americana, she was doing like a writing fellowship or something at Harvard, and I was part of the Harvard Nigerian Students Association, and we, I think, invited her for an event, and then a couple of us girls, maybe like 4 of us, ended up being invited by her to her apartment to talk. And I only realized later, like I think she was doing like research about the Nigerian American experience in America, and as I was reading Americana, I was like, yo, this for real like is my life, but you know, with like other stuff in it. So I also feel like the book is about me, and I got her to sign my book and will cherish it forever and ever and ever. But yes, I thought it's my life story too. It might as well be. Another assumption is that you're not moving to Kenya after all. So we're definitely still moving to the continent. I mean, I couldn't move while I was in school, so now that I'm almost done with school, it's definitely more of a realistic thought and plan than it was like 6 months ago. So there's that. Your outfits are always well put together. Bangers. Well, thank you. I mean, sometimes I don't know. I know how to dress my body and I know what my style is, and that's taken a long time to like get to. Like I'm almost, how old am I? I'm almost 29. So it's taken me a while to figure out, oh my god, I'm almost 29, which means I'm almost 30. Okay, anyway, it's taken me a while to kind of like figure out what my style is and like not copy other people's style. But yes, thank you. Let me just say thank you. You are harder on yourself than anyone is. Fact, I am so hard on myself. Also, I think most successful people are hard on themselves. Like you have to be your own worst critic, but like not let that criticism cripple you and stifle you and prevent you from like being great. But I'm always trying to push myself harder. I'm always trying to be better, and that's just, yeah, that's just like how I am. You have no financial debt associated with education cost. That is also true. I want to make a separate video about getting 3 degrees without any debt. Part of it has to do with the fact that I went to an undergraduate university. I went to Harvard for undergrad that had a really great financial aid situation. My parents also paid for the remainder of the cost of college, but then all my degrees after that were completely subsidized through the fact that I was in a fully funded PhD program up until my last 2 years, where I paid for my last 2 years of tuition by myself with my blogging money. So yeah, I don't have any financial debt. I don't have any student loan debt. It is probably one of the greatest ways that, you know, my parents and then myself have set me up for financial success and financial wellness. I assumed that you'd be anti-abortion and anti-LGBTQ rights. So yes, I think a couple weeks ago I posted some things on Instagram about my views on abortion, and really it boils down to this. Even though I'm Christian, not even though, because it's not a juxtaposition. I am Christian. I very much strongly identify as Christian. I go to church every Sunday. I sing on a worship team. Like, I'm very religious. I have a very personal relationship with Christ. However, I do not think that it is my duty to impose our beliefs on anyone. So I think that anyone should have the choice and the right to do whatever they want. It's between you and your God. And it has nothing to do with me. You know, all I can do is pray for people. All I can do is encourage people. All I can do is live a life that tries to draw people closer to God and show his love through how I live my life. And telling people they're going to hell because they've done XYZ thing is really not the way to bring them closer to Christ. So I definitely don't do that. If women made up a large part of the government and also then still decided to make abortion illegal, then I feel like less bad about it, you know, because we had an equal voice in that matter. But currently we're not the ones making the decision, so I don't see how people without uteruses can make decisions about people with uteruses. And as for gay marriage or LGBTQ rights, like again, like it doesn't affect me, it doesn't bother me. People should be able to do what they want to do, and all I can do is live my life the way that I think I'm supposed to live it and continue to be a representation of God's love. That's all I can do. So that's my view. Another assumption is that you're very, very happy. I am pretty happy. I think I am like happier probably than the average person. I don't have that many stressors in my life, especially now that school's out. So I am pretty happy. You're really good at everything, and you're really nice and would be a leader in everything. That is really kind. I'm not really good at everything. I think I've blogged about this, but I'm not the best friend. I've been working on it, but I'm not the best friend. I am pretty nice, but I can also be like kind of rude. It's the Nigerian in me. It's like, yeah, it's the Nigerian in me. Would I be a leader in everything? I don't know. Yeah. Another assumption, I didn't realize that you were tall. I've since met you, so I know better. You're tall and elegant. Thanks, girl. I'm actually not tall. I'm 5'6", 5'7", so I don't think that's tall, but I don't know. I guess I am tall. You look quiet until someone watches a video. Yeah, so I'm definitely not quiet. Maybe it's the glasses. I think when I wear glasses, people like assume I'm nerdier and like think that I'm quiet, and it's like, psych. I didn't expect you to talk about sex. I thought you were a hardcore Christian. Now this is interesting because again, it's a juxtaposition. Like if you're a hardcore Christian, you can't talk about sex, and it's just completely untrue. Song of Solomon, guys, is a really, really sexual book. There's a lot of sex up in there. There's a lot of like, that's some foreplay. Songs of Solomon, go read it. As a Christian, I do believe that we're called to save sex for marriage, and now that I'm married, like I could talk about it. What's up? It's happening. You're extremely kind and thoughtful of the people around you. I think I'm extremely thoughtful and caring. My in-laws were just here this past week, and like Jonathan thanked me for all that I did, like went above and beyond, and like tried to welcome them and make them feel good about their stay here. But I don't know if I'm kind. I don't know. There's like a whole other like side eye, like angry part of me that comes out. Jonathan sees it the most because, you know, he lives with me, and my family knows that I could like really turn up if I need to, but I try to be a nice person. I assume that you're very much in love with your husband. I am very much in love with this guy. He also is the most annoying person in the world, and I feel like if you love someone so much, you like they will also annoy you the most because you care about them the most. If Jonathan and like some random stranger both do the same thing that I don't like, I will be more annoyed with Jonathan because I care more about him. So I do love him, but he's also so annoying. I think you are polite and not friendly. Like, you won't hug someone that you just met. I actually am a hugger. I'm a huge hugger. So in the rare moment that someone like sees me on the street and they're like, oh my gosh, you Ijeoma Kola, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, girl. So I actually will hug people. I don't think they're usually expecting that. So I think I am polite, but I think I am friendly, and I will hug someone I just met. Yeah. I thought that your accent would be different because of your name. Don't be confused by this American shaka they do for you here. It's just because I've been for this country for a long time. But me, I can have an accent. If you want it, it's here. You seem lovely and above all disciplined. I admire that about you. I don't know how to comment about lovely, but thanks. You're all so sweet. Disciplined. I am pretty disciplined in some things. It depends. I think academically I'm disciplined. With my business I'm disciplined. Like for basic stuff around the house, like do I make the bed every day? No. Do I brush my teeth every night? No. Do I do dishes? No. So okay, you've got it all together. That's a lie. That's a bold fake. Not a lie, but that's a false assumption. I do not have it all together at all. At all. That you I assume that you grew up in a very encouraging and open household. Hey! Do you know anything about Nigerians? Oh my god. Encouraging? Yes. My parents were extremely encouraging. I have two siblings. I have two brothers. So they encouraged us to do great in school, to do well in school. They encouraged us to be active in church. And they encouraged us to pursue a few extracurricular activities, usually sports. We also did a little bit of music here. An open household? No, it was not an open household. No. It was not an open household at all. So yeah, it was not. I actually have a video coming up with my mom soon. It's funny because we had the conversation 15 years ago and now we're talking about it again, and it's a very different conversation. So no, my household was not open. It was encouraging, but not open. All right, I assume that you are very spiritual and rarely get upset. I am very spiritual. I don't know what the average person, how often the average person gets upset, but I get upset. I don't know, I get upset like when there's something that annoys me and that needs to be upset about. So I do get upset. I don't know, I guess that you're an introvert. I think I'm one of those like introverted, extroverted people. So like if I'm in my house, I'm very comfortable not leaving my house. If I go somewhere, so for example, if Jonathan and I are at a party and none of us know anyone, it's actually more likely that he will go up and talk to somebody. So he's more, I'm louder, he's more quiet, but I think he's more sociable. It takes a lot for me to like gather up the strength to like introduce myself to someone I've never met before and talk to someone new. I've started to get better at it as I've done a bunch of like networking for blogging stuff, but yeah. But I also like am very comfortable just like being in my house reading a book instead of like being out and about. I assume that you have a type A personality. That's pretty accurate. I assume that even though your parents are well off, you are a go-getter, hardworking, and ambitious. Even though okay, so a lot here. Even though your parents are well off. So my parents are doing well for themselves. My parents are doing well for themselves, but they weren't always doing well for themselves. They've worked really hard. And that seeing them work really hard has inspired me to be a go-getter and be hardworking and ambitious. So that's that. Assume that you are free-spirited. I don't really think I'm a free spirit, really. I know I'm pretty traditional and pretty like rigid in my habits. I'm not really free-spirited. I think that after your PhD you won't practice public health or go into academia. Probably not in the traditional sense of what you assume a public health practitioner looks like or an academic looks like, but I'm definitely thinking about alternative ways to still use my degree and my knowledge to like make the world a better place. But I have too much drama and hurt from the academy and like academia in general that I cannot enter it right now. I maybe will in the future, but for now I just like need a little bit of a break. Oh my god, my brother wrote it. I assume you're a timely person. Rude, Casey. Yeah, I'm not timely, I'm always late. I assume you're from a rich background. I'm not. So yeah, let's clear the air about my family. So my mom immigrated to America in 1991 as a nurse. She saved up money and brought the rest of us, which was my dad and my older brother and I, here in 92. So I've lived in America since 92. I was 2 when I came. And my parents, like my mom worked as a nurse, worked like those 12-hour shifts several days a week. My dad worked as like a security guard, worked odd jobs for a couple of years until, I don't know the exact year, but eventually he got into real estate. He was a real estate broker. What's the right name? Yeah, he was a real estate broker first, and then my parents, I think as we were like in middle school, my parents wanted to be more available for us, to like shuttle us to sports and just to be more present. And with my mom working as a nurse, she couldn't really do that. She worked like 7 to 7 shifts, so during the day she'd be asleep and at night she'd go off to work, and so we really wouldn't see her that much. And my parents like discovered real estate appraising as a way to make sufficient income for the family, but while also having the flexibility to still be super involved in their kids' lives. So they had their own business for a long time, but I wouldn't say that they were, I wouldn't say that we grew up rich. And if we did grow up rich, I surely didn't know it, because when we went to the store and I wanted something, it was a, oh, do you have money for you? No, so then shut your mouth. So I don't come from a rich background. My parents have worked super hard, and you know, now they're cool, but I didn't grow up rich. So that's that. You're naturally loud. I am naturally loud. Again, I am Nigerian. We are naturally loud. I assume that white and gold are your favorite colors. So I think when I first started decorating this apartment, I was obsessed with white and gold. When I was getting married, I was like still obsessed with white and gold. I think that I've kind of like moved on now. So yeah, I don't know. My favorite color from childhood was purple, but I don't really know what my favorite color is right now. I mean, I think white is a probably good answer, and actually white and gold are probably really good answers. I assume that you're a controlling type, that you want things to be done your way. Yeah, because I know the right way, like, yeah. I think this is something that I've been working on in marriage, because, you know, both Jonathan and I are pretty stubborn and want things our own way, but we definitely have 2 different approaches to how we try to convince the other person that we should do things our way. So I'm learning to, you know, let go and allow other people to try things their way, even though I know that it won't work as well as my way would have, but you know, we are just trying. I assume that you're down to earth and easy. I am pretty down to earth. Am I easy? I don't know about that, but I am down to earth. I assume that you're a good multitasker. Yes, I am such a good multitasker, especially when cooking. Like, I can throw together a quick meal with like 4 different components in 20 minutes. Like, I'm really good at multitasking. I just kind of had to in order to get to where I am today. Like, I just could not focus on, I had to do several different things at one time. I assume that you've got more time in your day than me. You seem to get a lot done. I don't have more time in the day, but I probably use it more efficiently than you, because multitasking one, and I ain't got time to be wasting time, so I'm super efficient with my time. I assume that you get worked up over small stuff, but eventually water it down. I do. I get worked up over everything. I'm like, everything is a problem. So this kind of goes back to the question about like that I never get angry, and I get worked up, but I let things go super quickly. That's one of the ways that Jonathan and I are very different. I get angry easily, and then I forgive and let go easily. He gets angry rarely, but he holds on to things a little bit longer. So yeah, that's that. I assume that you keep your circle small. I have many acquaintances and few friends. Very, very, very true. I can count my friends on 2 hands. I got no friends, and I'm cool with that. I like having a very small circle, you know, because I have, you know, this like online presence. It's kind of like a boundary where there are people who know what your life is offline, and there are people who like just know you from online. I don't know, I think especially as you get older, there are just fewer and fewer people who kind of like understand truly, and you know, you can turn to for advice about different things. So yeah, I know a lot of people, but there are few people who I really truly call like my friend. I think you married a Kenyan. I assume that you only know a few Swahili words. Yes, I know asante, karibu, tafadhali, mos, pole, buana. Yeah, the camera turned off on us. Hopefully nothing too important cut off. Another assumption is that you're one who creates her own path. You're not mainstream. I'm definitely not mainstream. You know, when I was young, I wanted to be a doctor, a pediatrician, but seeing my parents like pick a random career, like what is a real estate appraiser and how do you, like, no one even knows what that is, but being able to see them like choose a career that provided them with the flexibility to like really raise a family and do an amazing job of raising children and have their own business, that kind of always was instilled in the back of my mind, that there are other options. Like there isn't just one way to be successful, there isn't just one way to make money, there isn't just one way to like have a profession, have a career. Seeing my parents' entrepreneurial path definitely helped me feel more comfortable now that I'm older, kind of like making my own decisions and figuring out what I'm doing with my life, because you know, I don't know. Another assumption, when I first started following you, I assumed that you bleach your skin regularly. I don't even know how to start with this. I mean, skin bleaching is a huge issue in Nigeria. Wow, where do I go from here? There are people in my family who bleach their skin. I have never ever bleached my skin. I've never thought about bleaching my skin. I've never wanted to bleach my skin. I actually have always wanted to be darker skinned. Part of that is like for superficial reasons. You guys know that I suffer from acne, or I suffered from acne, and when darker people have acne, like it doesn't leave as prominent spots on their face, but I like had spots all over my face. Because I'm, I guess, regular, like fairly medium skinned, fair skin. I don't really know, I don't really care what the term is, but no, I've never bleached my skin at all. I had a conversation with my mom several years ago. She had asked me to buy her this like soap or something on Amazon, and I was like, but you know this is just bleach, right, sis? And eventually, you know, she came to an understanding and we like talked about it. It's so ingrained culturally that I guess I'm not really mad that you thought I bleach my skin, because it really is like a very common practice in Nigeria. And maybe I am lighter than the average Nigerian person, but you know, I spend a lot of time indoors. I am like just at my computer typing like all day long, so I don't get that much sun, but I make a pointed effort, like when I go on vacation, to tan and to try to get darker, to the point where I like accidentally burn myself in Honduras because I forgot to put sunscreen on my body, but I only put sunscreen on my face. Someone did tell me a couple of months ago, maybe like 6 months ago or a year ago, that when they met me in person, they thought that I would be lighter because on Instagram I appeared lighter. And I think that one of the reasons that might be the case, you know, photography lighting is always different. When you edit images, like, and you increase the exposure, that can sometimes change your skin tone. So I've tried to be more cognizant since that conversation of how my skin appears on social media, and making sure that, you know, even if I'm like blowing out the exposure on a picture because I want it to be brighter to like fit my aesthetic or whatever, that I'm not making my skin look lighter. And if I had been doing that, it was definitely like subconsciously and unintentionally, but I've been more mindful of that now, and like making sure that my skin actually sometimes will like darken my skin because I want to look really brown, and especially in the winter I don't look brown. Also, here's a picture of my family. As you can see, like my mom is also super light and I'm not. And I also do not have the bleached knuckles and knees. My knuckles are the same color as the rest of my body, so no bleach going on over here. I assume that you and Jonathan's mother really get along. We do. It's such a blessing to have a good relationship with your mother-in-law. So yeah, Jonathan's mom and I get along really well, which is like really great. She also gets along really well with my mom, which is like also really good, because like I can just, you know, drop them off somewhere and they can go have a good time and I don't have to babysit anybody. I assume that you and Jonathan have, saved up a chunk of money and are waiting to buy a house in December. It's a very specific assumption. Jonathan and I have saved a chunk of money since we got married, and you will find out what we're doing with it shortly. Yeah. I assume that Jonathan dislikes that he's pulled into your videos. I feel like Jonathan low-key loves the camera, because he does all this like dumb stuff like once the camera is not on, and then as soon as it's on, he's like, oh no, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm like, you were just cutting up, like you want to be seen. Anyway, I don't care whether or not he likes it or dislikes it, like he's gonna be in the video. I assume that you can talk your way out of anything. I don't know. The part that's confusing me is out of anything. I can talk about anything, but out of anything, I usually don't get myself into situations that I need to talk myself out of anyway, so I don't know. I assume that you aren't Nigerian enough. My assumption is that you're somewhat conservative. I'm fiscally conservative. I'm politically actually quite liberal. Yeah, but like in the middle. I'm like a moderate liberal politically. I don't know if this is about conservative politically or like religiously. I don't know. I'm wearing a mini skirt today. I don't know if that makes me, I don't know. I assume that you're very confident and have few insecurities. I am pretty confident. I have a lot of insecurities from a whole range of things, from my skin to my body, to like I was cheated on in the past, so let Jonathan not pick up his phone for a whole day. And I think that it's normal, and it's something I'm working on at all times. But yeah, I guess those are a few insecurities. I don't have tons and tons of insecurities, but I think everyone has a few insecurities. I assume you've always had a good relationship with your parents based on how you are today. This is the last one, so I'm gonna end with this. Absolutely not. So there were 2 periods in my life where I had terrible relationship with my parents. One was in high school. You know, everyone is like, I feel like everyone has some high school drama, but I hated my parents in high school. I felt that they were so strict and so restrictive, and I think the culmination of it all was in my junior year. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I wasn't allowed to go to any parties. I didn't go over anyone's house. I didn't do sleepovers, like none of that. And junior year, I went to a pretty small private school. I was on scholarship, by the way. So I went to a pretty small private school. So like they combined junior, senior prom was just one event. And when I was a junior, this senior guy had asked me to prom, and my parents said that I couldn't go, and I was so mad at them, because there was no logical reason why I couldn't go. Like my other friends were going who they knew. I wasn't dating this boy. Like he had just asked me to go because like I guess he had nobody else to ask. And a lot of times I felt that the decisions that they made around my socializing in high school, like they had no like reason behind them. There was like no basis behind them. It was just no, and no explanation why. So that was a struggle in high school, and that was one of the reasons why I had a kind of strained relationship with them in high school, which only kind of got, I mean, it got better when I got out of the house and I went to college. But you know, when I went to college, my little brother was going to homecoming his freshman year, and I was like, but I didn't go to homecoming till senior year, and that was because I planned homecoming because I was on student government, and my parents like had to let me go because I was on student government. But otherwise, I did not go to homecoming any other year. The second time that I had a really tense relationship with my parents was actually when I was dating Jonathan. I think I've talked about this on Instagram. I don't know if I talked about it on YouTube, but when I went to go visit Jonathan in 2013, I had saved up all this money to go buy the ticket to go to Kenya for the first time, like see his family and all this stuff. And I told my parents I was going ahead of time, you know, because I respect them, and so I wanted them to know. And mind you, I was not living in the house. I was living on my own, was not asking them for any money, like was self-sufficient. And they were like, you can't go. And I was like, I already bought my ticket, like I'm going. And that trip caused a huge rift in my relationship with my parents. They said if I went, I'd be disowned. When I was there, they canceled a flight. When I came back, I was supposed to go to Canada for a wedding. They had bought that ticket. They canceled that flight ticket. It took several months for us to like rebuild, and ultimately, I mean, it boiled down to them being, I mean, what their argument was that it was culturally inappropriate for me as a woman to go visit a man, and what I believe that that's a cultural norm, and so I'm not saying that they were like wrong for that, but like the 21st century, we can kind of bend cultural norms a little bit. So I like saw where they were coming from, but still like had issues with their delivery. So yes, but we bounced back. It's, yeah, a lot easier to talk to my parents about things now that we are all adults, even though they still look at me as their baby. But yeah, those are the assumptions about me. I hope that you learned a lot more about me in this video that you may not have known. This is kind of fun. This is interesting to see what people think based off of how I portray myself, or how, you know, just the pictures or videos that I have. So I'm so glad that I did this video, even though it's like mad late, even though probably nobody cares and they all are over this kind of video, but I'm really glad I did it just for myself. And now I have some things to think about. Like, where is this perception that I come from a rich family coming from? Like, I want to know where that perception came from, and not that I need to change it, but yeah, that was not my life growing up. So anyway, thanks guys so much for watching this video. Hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any other video ideas, please definitely let me know, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye.